What's going on, guys? So on this Shoki review, we're going to take a look at the Bandai Star Wars Y-Wing Starfighter from, of course, Star Wars. Now, of course, we did the unboxing a little while ago with Dan, and yeah, that was the thing. And of course, he was warning me about how hard this is going to be, that I'm going to be pulling my hair out, throwing stuff, screaming. So we'll see about that. But of course, on the cover we have the Y-Wing. Now, this is actually, yeah, that is really artwork. Okay, I just want to make sure. So, really nice artwork. Got the Death Star trench run happening in the background. You got an X-Wing over here. You got a TIE Fighter over there. Of course, you got Bandai down here, Y-Wing there. Bandai 2017. Yay. Come down to the bottom and we get a nice read-up of everything, including some screenshots right there. Although, is it just the camera or is there actually a weird shadow there? Okay. And actually get some nice front and rear shots right there. The Y-Wing was always one of my favorite starfighters from Star Wars. I think because it has kind of a Star Trek Enterprise kind of situation, the twin engine, stuff like that. So maybe that's why I always liked it. I don't know. It was also one of my favorites to fly around in like Rogue Squadron, stuff like that. But we've got clear and frame canopies. I get what it means, but it sounds really funny. You got craft details, laser effects, seated pilots. Pilots, yay. A little R2D2 or R5D4. I don't know why R2D2 would have been in a Y-Wing. Weird. Okay, and you got landing gears, stickers and water decals, craft details. Come around here, you've got 172 scale plastic model Y-Wing Starfighter. Yay. And come over here and you get nice profile shot and a front shot there. And then angle adjustable stand. What did I say with that accent? Death Star base is angle adjustable. So it is supposed to be like the Death Star. That's pretty neat. And you've got all your obligatory warnings. And your plastic model kit and your choking hazard. No glue required. That's awesome. Bandai, 3,400 yen. Fairly certain I paid way less than that. I think I only paid like 20 something for that. I might have to look that up because that's significantly more. But guys, if you ever wonder why the Star Wars kits are a little more pricey than other things, that little thing right there is why. But that's pretty cool. And also, illustration is by Tenjin Hidetaka. Yay for that. There we go. And you got the Hobbytown sticker under there. So yeah. Hey, it's a spaceship. It can fly upside down. Let's get to that awesome build montage. Alright, guys. That took quite a while. This, what you see in front of you, the finished Y-Wing. I started it Monday morning, like right after the wifey left, and I didn't necessarily stop until Thursday, middle of the day. So realistically, this is almost a 4-day build. Now you guys can see, I kind of went to town on the painted details and the weathering. And thank you to Mr. Nick Willie, who let me borrow his Tamiya weathering kit. And right off the bat, guys, I will say this. This kit is incredibly meticulous and full of tiny, tiny parts. As we saw in the unboxing, you have all of the tiny tubes, all of these individual little tubes all across that surface. Every one of those is its own part, and you have to put it in place. It is absolutely insane. And yeah, I kind of went a little crazy with the paint, but honestly, I really just wanted to make it details. It has insanely detailed surface, you know, all kinds of parts all over it, and I just really wanted to show those off. We're doing a little quick walk around here. It was a very fun kit, guys. But I will say, if you are not a fan of doing a lot of small, meticulous, and intricate building, this is not the kit for you. Absolutely not. Now, you could just throw it together and not put any of those pipes on, but it would look very, very boring. I guess I could scooch this back just a little bit. And of course, I did spend pretty much the better part of a day doing the weathering and then doing the clear coat and stuff like that. But this thing it's probably my favorite Star Wars kit so far. One, because it does have all details, and two, just the amount of work I put into it, it looks really sweet. So let's take a quick look at some of the accessories. Not a lot. So you do have beam sabers. I mean, or laser bolts, whatever you want to call them. It can't focus on there. That's crazy. There it goes. I'm not really going to use them. I find they're pretty dumb, realistically. But they will just, actually, they almost plug in just like that. So they'll plug into the front cannons just like so. Set those off to the side. Now, we'll show this off, because it does come with water slides, and I did use them. These are all the ones I did not use. So this one right here is supposed to go right here. Instead, I just went ahead and painted it. Oops. And these, much like with the TIE Fighter and the X-Wing, are supposed to go over the clear canopy. I did not want to use the clear canopy, so I didn't bother using them. And you've got all these tiny little markings that, honestly, a lot of them became pointless once I started painting, because I wouldn't have been able to put them on. I've actually got some dust on there. That's funny. Now, several of these things, like this and a couple of the other markings, are actually for the pilots, which I didn't want to use. The pilots have made me so angry between the TIE Fighter and X-Wing, I just didn't bother. I think it looks better without the pilots. I'm just saying. This is a very fun kit. But, once again, incredibly intricate. And you don't have to do all the details that I did. By no means do you have to. But I think it makes it look pretty damn awesome. Actually, I'm going to scooch this back for a second. Once again, it has the Star Wars stand wobble. And we'll show off the last couple little accessories here. They are the landing gear. So they did come molded in white. Went ahead and hit it with my favorite dark gray ever. A little bit of chrome for the pistons. And then hit it with a little bit of silver and a little bit of rust. Just for fun. Probably not all going to come across on camera. But I haven't even tried to put these things on yet, realistically. So I guess I could try to do that now. Scare myself a little bit. Now this is just plugged onto the stand, so I'm going to just lightly grip it and rotate, pull the stand out. Now the landing gear I gotta find the panels. Okay, so right here, the panels are so well hidden, I didn't know they were here. A little bit of irony, guys. Okay, so the panel for the landing gear is this one right here. You see this copper piece? Without even knowing those pieces were supposed to meet up, I painted that copper and that copper. So it worked out. Do I have a knife? I should always have a knife here, right? Okay, I can see the edges of the panel. I have never once tried this, so I gotta be careful. There it is. Okay, I got it. Now, I don't know if these are supposed to stay there or just get out of the way. Let me just go ahead and pull it off, I guess. Alright, so you've got a very specific key there. And you just shove it right up inside. So it actually has a very low profile. There we go. I guess in theory there's got to be a way to have those still sort of attached. Ooh, that wasn't a great sound. I bet those are not even. Okay, so that's the back ones. And you can see I didn't paint anything inside there because, well, I forgot about it, honestly. Alright, this one should be fairly easy. Just chilling right in here. Yeah, I said that. And I apologize, guys, if you can hear any of that banging and stuff. We just got some very inconsiderate new neighbors, and yeah, they've been here less than a week, and I've already had to complain about them. Okay, so I don't know how well that's going to go in there. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. So there's the front landing gear and the back landing gear installed. Let's just set her down like so. And while we're doing that, look at that little hatch. Look at that little guy. Okay, I'm gonna set these little pieces off to the side so I don't forget about them. And I'm gonna show off the Death Star stand. Now this was, of course, just this crappy gray color, but just, you know, in the middle of it, I stopped and went ahead and dusted it all up with the Tamiya weathering kit. So it's got some gunmetal, it's got some brown rust and some normal rust, a little bit of just soot, and then tiny bits of chrome just here and there just to make things pop, and I think it looks excellent. It's like, this is the kind of base I wanted with my other two kits, but no, I got snow and I got sand. This is pretty cool. And of course it does just plug in much like a HG Gundam does, just right up in the hole. Now let's go ahead and take a closer look at this guy. So right up front you have the very kind of duck-shaped head. And you can see I've got some nice weathering on there. Though I wish I could have got a little bit more like a big blotch of rust. So I should have busted out my markers for that, I think. But I love the sheer amount of dust and everything. You got the blue stripe down the side, which is a water slide. You got the twin cannons right up front. A little bit of paint, a little bit of weathering. And going into like the bill of the duck, so to speak, I've got some rust and some dirt. And then coming underneath, you see, it probably needs a bit more grime realistically, but at this point I don't care. Down here you got what looks to be a radiator of some sort, and all the pipes and everything coming out the bottom. Everything on here either has gold, two different types of Gundam gray, a little bit of titanium, silver, chrome, and copper. As you'll see, you just see all kinds of different pipes and little things pointed out here and there. Like the camera's having a hard time focusing. It's so busy. But the underside is beautiful on this thing. This is, of course, where the stand plugs in, so it looks very nice. You can see some gold and copper details all around that. And then you got these little tanks back here. Some favorite is dark gray ever, and then, of course, all the other colors. Honestly, guys, I'm incredibly proud of this. Like, this took so long. I feel like it was very, very much worth it. And as I'm going along, just as you see things, remember, when the original one was made, they're using other Bandai kits and other model kits and stuff to build this. So you'll see little parts here and there that are clearly parts of something else, or came from something else. So if you see something, you know, shout it out in the comments, because there's a couple things on here for sure that I've seen that I know come from a different type of kit. But you can see all the molded detail right down the side here. You got all the panels. Got like little gold thingies here. It doesn't want to focus. It's like, I can't. There we go. So you've got all these little wiring harnesses. Almost all of those got some gold or chrome. I went ahead and used the soot all around the actual thruster there. Come back here to the directional vanes on the back. It's a little dirtier than I really wanted, but I actually dig it. You got some gray, some chrome, and some gold all right there. This yellow bit is actually water slide, so I stuck that on there. That's pretty much the last things I did right before clear coating this guy. And I come over to this side. I really like this inset panel for some reason. You got some copper, some gold. Actually, I dry brushed it originally inside that little hole. It's just, man, that's pretty. I'm sorry. Like, I'm looking at it here. Like, the camera probably not going to catch as much detail as you guys could really see in person. I've also got the R5D3 or D4, whatever his name is. I didn't want to use the R2. And honestly, I don't like the way they do the droids. So, it is what it is. Also, when you're handling this guy, you got to be careful. I just had my finger up against one of the pipes and I could feel it moving. You can see I added just a little red top to his head and tried to highlight his eyes a little bit. It didn't really work out too well. And this thing is fairly well asymmetrical, guys, so you got to plan for that. So, see, you've got gold, silver pipes on one side, copper and silver and white on the other. Stuff like that. You got little copper tanks, little gold areas here and there. You got the flux capacitor right here. Actually, I think that's, more than likely, that's an airplane engine turned on end, if I had to guess. Like, if it'll focus. Yeah. I mean, it looks like that, or a hatch, or a gun barrel or something. Just very, very intricate details. And like I said, this panel right here was the one that was supposed to be water slide. I said screw it and just painted over it. And you can see I've done a little bit of silver washing over the dark stuff. Got a lot of soot, a lot of rust. Different levels of rust, realistically. I really do like the Tamiya weathering kit. I'm going to have to get one for myself because right now I'm just using Nick's as a backup. Like I said, this thing is chock full of detail, and do not by any means let it all disappear. And one part I was going to point out that I swear I had to originally come from a car model. These little guys are right here. I swear to you, that is an upper A-arm or a lower A-arm control arm from a car. That is exactly what that looks like. And they use that on both sides of the wings, right up in here. Now, if you guys know anything about the Star Wars builds and stuff like that back in the day, they use things called universal greeblies. So there are parts, there's a part on every single spaceship throughout all of Star Wars that is the same on every single part. It's almost impossible to find it, but it's there. You got one little bitty TIE Fighter kill mark right there. For some reason the camera doesn't want to focus. It's so dirty it can't focus. Nice. The cockpit does actually have some details. I'm going to have to pull the canopy off. So you can see I've got a whole bunch of fine dust in there. And I don't have the pilot, like I said, but you've got all this stuff back here, which some of that looks like it had to have been like a flathead engine. A lot of other pieces and parts, you know, pipes and all kinds of things. Pieces, parts, and pipes. And added a little bit of red on the headrest of the thing. You've got control panels here and the dash and stuff like that. Those are those crappy water slides over a textured surface. I absolutely hated that, and it didn't even come out that great. The front board of the cockpit right here was so bland and boring. I had a little bit of silver, a little bit of red paint, and then I hit it all with a little bit of silver, a little bit of rust, a little bit of gunmetal, and actually a tiny bit of white. Just to dirty up the cockpit really well. Even the joystick there got a tiny bit of paint. Like I said, don't feel like doing the clear cockpit. I think those are one of the worst mistakes that Bandai's made. Plus you have to try to mount this little double turret here. I like the double turret. I wish I'd given it just a little bit more paint. It does rotate, but you probably wouldn't want to because it is a very, very small and thin piece of plastic. But like I said, guys, I love this thing. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful kit. And I definitely, if you are a Star Wars fan, you have to get you a Y-Wing. This thing is awesome. And it would be nicer if it would actually be in frame. There we go. The stand alone is actually, no pun intended, standalone. The stand by itself is actually really, really neat. I like this, but I need to get a bit of super glue and like tighten up these joints and build it up just a little bit so it will actually hold itself up properly. As you guys saw, it leans forward just like my other ones do. But Dan, I know you've seen pictures of this thing already, and I know you're a little bit jealous. I did not get mad and throw it across the room as you predicted. So I guess technically I win our bet or whatever. Your challenge was accepted and defeated. Sorry. Because the meticulous work and everything like that, I actually truly enjoy. It's a lot of fun, and dirtying this thing up just made it all the more worth it. So that's going to be it for this review, guys. And also, thank you, Andy Tubbs, for picking this one out. This one was, of course, for you, technically speaking. And, yeah, thanks to my patrons right here. You guys, if you haven't seen my Patreon, go check that out. If you want to have the ability to pick what kits I build, go over there and join the donation. If not, join in, because sometimes I post things over there. The guys on Patreon have already seen this thing for the most part. So if you guys want to be able to see some stuff before it ever comes out, or see some stuff that is exclusively for you, go check out my Patreon. But that's it for this review, guys. Remember, as always, keep on building, and may the force be with you.